welcome back to the spoiler version. If Thor's father, if Odin died in Thor Ragnarok, Superman lives in Justice League.
Man, you're all over it already. Well, and everyone knew that. I mean, that's honestly that's like the worst kept secret of the year, I think.
True.
Superman
really
comes back.
You know, one way you can pan that is, a hallucination or a dream figment on the part of Lois Lane, just out of sheer grieving. There's those short.
Well, that was the thing when they released that version of the trailer.
Exactly.
And everyone thought that was a dream. That wasn't a dream.
It wasn't. It wasn't.
Or was it? Because half of that freaking scene wasn't even in the movie. They cut that out too. Yeah, so this is the spoilers version of our review of Justice League. Just real quick, if you didn't catch the non-spoiler, I rated this movie a 6.5 out of 10. You rated it a 10 out of 10 because you suck at rating.
No, you got it wrong. Actually, it was 11. So I need you
loved
to,
it.
Yeah, I need you to go and correct that.
You're wearing your Justice League T-shirt right now.
Man, I only got the T-shirt. I got the Jerry curl rocking.
Oh my god!
The
Jerry curl?
Yeah, man, the Superman Jerry curl. You just go sit. You go sit in your corner. You think about how awesome that is before you even get on this level.
I will say this, that I was not thinking about Superman's mustache the whole time. Only about half the time he was on screen.
I'm shocked.
I guess that's a service to something. For those of you who don't know, at least for parts of what Henry Cavill shot, he had a big mustache going. That the who's he making? I don't know who he's making it for, but for
Mission Impossible 6.
Mission Impossible 6. He's a villain, I think, in that. He's something in that. He's got a big mustache, and he's shooting that when he was doing reshoots for Justice League. They wouldn't let him cut it off because spending millions of dollars to CGI out a mustache is a better way to go instead of just letting him shave it and grow it back in 2 weeks, or putting a fake one on, or whatever. Movies,
man.
people, movies. Yeah, this spoilers.
7 out of 10, by the way.
7 out of 10. Superman. I mean, you knew he was coming back.
Yeah.
This is one of those areas where I really think they chopped us up a bit too much.
Right.
It was okay. The fight when he comes back was cool.
Yes.
That was interesting. I did genuinely fear for Batman when Superman had him by the jaw. It's like, dude, you're dead. He's gonna kill the shit out of you right now.
I'll tell you what, a Superman gone AWOL or rogue or a villainous Superman in any form is pretty terrifying.
Yeah. No, and I was, as much as I commented how bad the storytelling was in this movie, and this is one of the things I said in the non-spoiler trailer where they bring things back and they kind of complete things. The line when Superman says, "You won't let me live, you won't let me die."
Yeah.
That was really cool.
Yeah. Especially when you're just looking at this world that's really gone through all the different pangs and paces of how to deal with metahumans, how to deal with the new revelations and alien invasions. On the one hand, in the earlier movies, Superman's welcomed. Later on, there's a rallying, there's a railing against metahumans and whatnot, and he's caught in the middle of this strange pull all the time. So seeing that, something that's still very fresh with him, that's something that's still at the center of what he grapples with. Good stuff.
I really like Henry Cavill as Superman. I have liked him as Superman. I think out of this, more than anything else, I'm really looking forward to Man of Steel 2, which I do believe is still planned to be made. So I'm sure they're going to do something in some regard. It's been one of their better DCEU movies. So
yeah.
So speaking of these characters, we saw very briefly, I think, some Green Lantern.
We did. This is during if I recall, Queen Hippolyta is recounting the battle against Steppenwolf and the Parademons for the Mother Boxes, where the armies of man, the Altean forces, and the Amazonians all unite. Of course, this goes beyond them. You've got a lot of other major powers in the DC universe that have participated in this, especially the Lantern Corps. And even seen one of the Green Lanterns right in the middle of the mix. Even one of them's taken down. That their fight, still continues, and that battle, went on. Really cool. I think not just to take a quick flashback that far, but also a wink to saying, hey, we didn't forget. Yes, the ring does exist.
Well, and there were some rumors that we'd see Green Lantern in this too.
Yeah.
But, I figured once I saw them, like, oh, that's all they're going to give us. They're still terrified to use Green Lantern.
Yeah.
That's the most we're going to see.
Yeah.
Who was the guy shooting lightning in that? Was that a god? Was that Zeus?
Man, I'm trying to think back to the scene.
Because they said there was gods in that fight too, and
the old and Steppenwolf referenced the old gods as well.
Yeah, I figured they meant by the old gods, they meant like the old Greek gods.
Right. Same. Which is
they are the same thing. So who's the lightning guy?
Well, that's the thing. I didn't think that was Zeus, though. You can't. I don't know, dude. You got me there.
Then who was it? I'm not like being rhetorical.
No.
I really don't know.
No. Same. I mean, you're
okay.
No. I mean, you're talking to a guy. You think I would have run across this reading Infinite Crisis or something, but no. Oh well.
All right, whatever. So there's a guy who shoots lightning who may or may not be a god or a superhero.
There you have it.
And then you never see him again.
No. So forgettable anyway.
I thought maybe they were planting in something with Shazam or something because they're going to be making that movie. So
my only other stone throw about that was like a previous Black Adam or something. But
yeah,
maybe that's all I got.
That shoots lightning. I have no idea.
Yeah, that's all I got.
Okay, fair enough. The first act really the beginning of this movie was so awesome when they get you in there, boom, there's Batman taking on some burglar who's really he's not after him at all.
Right. And
then you see the bug thing. What are those called?
Parademon.
The parademons, that's right. You had some really cool, this bugs the crap out of me because and I'm sure we'll talk about this on the Jagged Edge this week, because Ben Affleck came out and said, I'm really looking for a way to get out of being Batman in a graceful way, in a way that doesn't hurt the franchise. Not that the Warner Brothers is doing anything to help the franchise, but but I don't want him to go.
Same.
I don't want him to go. And now I predicted this, that Justice League will be the last time we see him. And maybe that won't be true because he's actually saying he'll do it right.
Right.
But man, he's so good.
Yeah, it's a tough position to find ourselves in. There's a couple of other reviews out there who have sort of described the morphing, what they seen from Batman. I know there were some complaints from Batman versus Superman that he's sort of this big heaving bag of muscles. That's it.
No, he actually does detective stuff, which is something we've rarely seen in any of the other movies.
Exactly. Which is such a key component part of his character. The shinobi training, the stealth, the martial art. All that's part of it. That's there. That's accessory to the fact that first and foremost, the most powerful thing about Batman is his mind. It's been a long known fact. You give the guy enough time, he's going to figure out an answer to dealing with whatever he has to deal with. And honestly, Ben Affleck's execution of Batman, I do not have any complaints about that.
No, I'm really enjoying both of them. And a perfect example of what you're saying here, as well as when he says he's got contingencies in case when they do bring Superman back.
Yep.
And he's, as Ezra Miller says, the Flash says, Pet Cemetery, which was hilarious. He had the best lines in the movie, by the way.
He did.
But he comes back and then he's got the big guns, and the big gun is Lois Lane, which was completely appropriate.
It was
even in the scenario of how they've kind of shoehorned and rushed this relationship with Clark Kent and Lois Lane. It was pretty. It's like that's Batman thinking.
Yeah, no, it is.
Jeez, I've rarely come out of a movie where I'm like, you got so many things so great, and then you just got so many things so bad.
Yeah, the other thing I like, I think this just kind of plays the whole mystique Affleck gives off with Batman is he's mentioned this also a couple of times too throughout the film, just how long he's been doing this. He has some conversations with Aquaman. He talks about he's defended Gotham for at least 20 plus years, and it's pretty cool to see a sort of worn Batman, but very much settled in his role. Worn but not weary in any sense. He's got the track record behind him. It's a confident Batman who comes into a given situation, assesses it, and reacts appropriately. I like that. We're sort of out of the point of origin or extra building. He's established. He knows what he can, what he cannot do, and he does everything he can with the tools he has. That's Bats.
And generally speaking, this movie does a really good job of the interaction between the Justice League members.
Yeah.
It feels a little pushed, a little rushed at times, but the cast and the writing that they had to work with, I'm not quite sure. Was it Joss Whedon? Did Zack Snyder write this stuff down first?
Yeah.
Did they ad-lib some of this? But it works. Generally speaking, it works between them really well.
I agree.
And I think that's what kept me going for this movie for the most part, why I didn't rate it a lot lower, was because when it came to these superheroes interacting with each other and doing what they do, they got that pretty much right, in my opinion.
I agree, and I think this is where you see some of Whedon's footprint. One of the best, in my opinion, dialogue sections here is between Diana and Bruce. Not only with their whole setup of the Justice League, they've been working together, coordinating to try and get this project off the ground. But when you see the points they agree on, and then you see the points they clash on. Mainly the clash point when they have that conversation when they're on their way back over to I think Metropolis, not Gotham, on the plane about what to do with the mother boxes and how to approach the Superman situation. Diana has a whole different outlook on what should happen. Batman is really reacting from he's trying to react from a realist perspective of the best thing we can do is use this guy's technology against him. We got to take these mother boxes and we got to hit him with it. It's our best, most practical move. And then the tension that both of them run into with that. Well, with the best part that tension is not just done surely for the sake of being facetious. If anything, Bruce Wayne is trying to push her into more, just to continue to step into a higher role of leadership, more than he knows that he can do. If anything, it's really cool seeing him, I think, settle into that dynamic of saying, I know the support I can give, I know what I can do behind the scenes, but there's certain things you're going to have to do. But he kind of says that between the lines. Really cool. We haven't really, we don't always get that in the DC movies. So
No, that was really good. I agree. I think one of the best things that they laid out is that, you have Batman, and he is what he is. He's, there's conversation in this movie about making a statement as to what they are, and the Batman is, he's this fearful myth and creature kind of in Gotham that strikes fear in the villains in Gotham. That is not the kind of leader and the kind of symbol that the Justice League needs.
Right.
And while Bruce Wayne is basically, he's the head of this right now. He's saying, look, someone else needs to do this. I'm certainly, I'll be here, and I will be here, and I should be here, but someone else should lead this.
Yeah.
Because someone else should be the symbol for this group.
Yeah.
And there's some really good conversations about that as well. And yeah, good dialogue, certainly better than Martha.
I agree. I agree.
Yeah, someone else wrote that. Zack Snyder did not write that.
Boy, oh boy.
Guarantee you. And hopefully, maybe I'm wrong. I'm sure as time goes on, we'll find out who had a hand in what.
Right.
That'll come out. I would love to know now, because I think
Same.
some people need to get fired and some people need to get a raise, because there is definitely different people telling different parts of this story in this movie.
Yeah.
This was great though. As far as, like it said, the character interaction, building the characters, building this world, it did everything that Batman v Superman should have.
Right.
Except for it did it well.
Right.
I'm not a big DC fan. I know a lot of these characters mainly from my childhood and what I catch nowadays, which isn't a lot. So when I heard that Steppenwolf was going to be the main bad guy for this one, and
Yeah.
my first thing, like, who the hell's Steppenwolf? The whole Mother Box things was more of a letdown. I'm hearing that from bigger fans of the comic books and these characters from the source material, that a lot of that was really just a shallow shadow of what it normally is in the comics. There's question if Darkseid's even going to be the next villain.
Exactly.
But there's of Justice League 2 in general, because nobody knows what the hell's going on here.
Yeah, and this makes some stranger ground. We touched on this a little bit in the non-spoiler. I think some of the surprises about Steppenwolf, when you look into his history, this is one of Darkseid's generals. If anything...
well, it's his uncle, too, isn't it?
I was about to say that. He's also related to him. He's his uncle. And, this is someone who pulls normally directly from that realm. I mean, when you talk of a menacing presence, or where's this guy pulling his army from? Well, there you go. And I think that's a really easy link up if you wanted to continue building this larger story, if you wanted to continue, escalating this to larger villains and everything else. Making Steppenwolf sort of that standalone, in a sense, but again, that sort of lack of endgame, that's odd. If anything, this is the spot where I would have expected, I guess, to start to see that development into Darkseid or into, I don't know, Brainiac, or if we're going to go really grand, Anti-Monitor or something crazy like that. But no, it's just, I think at the end of the day, something you sort of put a bow on and done.
So, well, since you're talking about leading, where things going into the future, and we don't really know. I mean, you see these after credit scenes, and you have the second one where, well, we did get to see Lex Luthor a little bit,
exactly.
And he's out of prison. They said that he wasn't going to be in the movie, but he is. He's in the second after credit scene, and that is Deathstroke, correct?
Yeah, it is. You got that right.
Yeah, I'm not so off on that. I knew that was Deathstroke, who we'd been hearing was going to be in the Batman movie, who we also hear that he's going to be getting his own movie.
Yeah, apparently.
But he shows up on Lex Luthor's boat, and he's like, well, Lex Luthor says whatever gibberish he says as this version, basically saying, so there's the Justice League now, and we should have a league of our own. Which I don't remember Deathstroke being in the Legion of Doom.
I don't either.
I don't think they've built enough villains for the Legion of Doom. But they didn't really build enough heroes for a Justice League movie, so I guess that doesn't stop them now, does it?
Well, fortunately, Lex Luthor may have another hard drive with a different set of files. Instead of being labeled Flash, Aquaman, Wonder Woman, maybe they're labeled, oh, look, there's Cheetah. Oh, look at that, there's Bizarro. Oh, who knows?
Yeah, it was a cool scene to see.
Right.
It's cool to see that Lex Luthor's out, because I really want to see him and Superman go at it in Man of Steel 2.
Yep.
I want to see that, because Superman's got one hell of a bone to pick with him, that's for sure.
Oh yeah. And there's so many ways Lex Luthor can do this. We've seen him use kind of surreptitious methods or trying to be, conniving and doing things backdoor. Lex Luthor has also been one in the comics when it's come to it. When he has enough tech available, who has not shied from taking on suits directly with kryptonite, with special suits, whatever.
Yeah, I want to see giant Hulkbuster type armor suit. That's what I want.
That's exactly what I'm saying. There was the last time I remember Lex in a hulking armor, I think was in the Ian Churchill. He did the art for it, the Supergirl series that came out. It's not New 52, is whatever was before that. But he had an awesome armored suit. He had a couple different flavors of kryptonite. About every trick in the book that was was augmented with. That would be awesome. That would be an awesome.
Yes, it would. Yes, it would. And then watch Deathstroke get squashed by Superman. Because what the fuck?
Oh man, this all did remind me though. Speaking of soups, of what I've liked about DCU, because I enjoyed Man of Steel. I like Henry.
Yeah.
I like Henry Cavill as Superman, but just the scale of Superman overall and just his power. I mean, he's always been someone who's been on the overpowered side in DC, but
right.
This movie frames it. I think from the headbutt of the year, he gives Wonder Woman. to the level of speed he has. There's also a really great throwback to the old school race across the world between Flash and Superman. This is during the second after credit scene.
Oh, this is the first.
I thought the
first.
I'm sorry. I thought
Were they backwards for you? Well, for me, the first after credit scene was Superman and Flash.
Weird. The second was Superman and Flash for me.
Oh, that is weird. Well, why would they do that? That's weird.
All
right, so there it is. So we did get the same two, though.
Right. Exactly.
So the other after credit scene was Flash and Superman. They race.
Right. Right.
Which, by the way, I think that after credit scene was absolutely perfect and just framed what they got right about this movie.
Yeah, it did.
It was. I mean, especially out of all the bleak, overly dark, and Martha garbage we've had to deal with from this DCEU, that was very nice and refreshing to see. That okay, so when we're poking at what we're going to do in the future, they do this.
Right.
That I really liked that. And the whole thing was really cool. I really enjoyed that part of the movie.
Yeah.
I got nothing else.
Cool. About the Alteans too. Just looking
What's
at
that?
The Aquaman's people.
Oh, the Atlanteans?
Yeah.
Or is it Alteans?
Excuse me. I'm used to Alteans, but don't quote me.
Well, that's all right.
But you get the idea.
The fish people.
Yeah.
The underwater people.
You're right. Atlantis sounds way better. I fear I'm butchering it. Let's go with that.
Okay.
Those from Atlantis. We've got the moldings of the solo Aquaman movie here in a lot of ways. I was really nervous how I was going to take to, again, the Hillbilly Jim side of Aquaman. I love how Jason Momoa took it. I still, it's so weird for me to deal with Aquaman without kind of him being in that princely stature. That's
right. See, here's why I'm okay with that though, because they actually gave you a reason why he is this way.
Okay, true.
Because
That's
true.
true.
what's been bugging me about this is like they just it seemed like up until this point they've really just changed this guy because Aquaman is corny as shit.
Right.
And because he is. But they could have gone one or two ways. They went the way they did, which is that we'll make him a renegade, and
right.
He'll be a wine drinking or booze drinking badass. Or what I would have preferred that they would have done, although maybe they would have screwed up, was just go full corny.
Yeah.
With the character. Just go full blonde hair, orange tights. Go with full, make that suit of armor he's wearing at the end just shiny and ridiculous, and but they didn't. I would have gone, the way they went, they did okay because he is. They explain it vaguely that he's not a part of Atlantis.
Right.
He's doing his own thing. So, right. That's why I'm a bit okay with it. He's still a bit too redneck though.
Fair enough. His trident was awesome. Again, playing into something I love about the way DC frames their weaponry. From his trident to Steppenwolf's axe to Wonder Woman's, it's all awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And they all made for good action sequences. There's a lot of those here. The couple I pan back to is seeing Aquaman in action when we're at the water processing plant. Just the extent of how much he's able to hold back on his own. Seeing Flash. Wall run past Deanna her sword. That's sick. Seeing Wonder Woman go across a whole line of people about to be executed and stop a submachine gun. That's awesome. You get real insights into everyone's powers here, which is great. Except there's one we haven't seen the full extent of, and I think that's Cyborg. And I say that because we've got him based so strongly off the mother boxes. And again, the mother boxes are sort of skimmed upon in this one. He's still a bit of an X factor at the end of the day.
Yeah.
You get enough of an idea of what he can do, but not full extent.
Yeah, well, I can't disagree. He definitely had the least amount of light shined on him during this movie, which is ironic because he being Cyborg is created directly off of the mother boxes.
Right.
It was it's like, look, you're not much of a character in this movie, more is that you're a reason for us to be able to get from A to B to C.
Right. transitions.
Which is a shame, but I've never been a big Cyborg fan to begin with, just because I haven't had much of a chance to get to know him, and I didn't really get much of a chance here as well. So,
right.
By the way, talking about superpowers and all that, one thing that we haven't commented on, again, going back to the scene where Superman is kicking everybody's ass.
I love that scene. Yeah.
When Flash starts running. And he can see that Superman's his eyes are following him the whole time. Like, he's thinking he's going to be slick by being all fast and run along the side, and he sees that Superman's watching him the whole freaking time. You can see that oh shit on his face.
Exactly.
And I'm sitting there watching. I'm like, man, if you piss him off, you are dead.
Yep.
And then he just drops everything and just starts going after the Flash. That was awesome. It's like, dude, he's going to destroy you if he touches you.
But yeah. There was some real tension there. I mean, here I'm thinking same thing. Like you said, if he nails you with any one of those punches, because they're going at ridiculous speed because of where they're capturing that whole bit of action, like, you will get insta-jabbed. Please dodge for your life.
So there's some great elements there, and and again, guessing, I would have to say that was probably Zack Snyder all over.
Right.
That probably was him. So maybe they got a good team here, and maybe if they can actually work on Justice League 2 at the same time, maybe they can come out with something really great.
Yeah.
Or maybe they'll never be able to work together because egos are egos. So who knows? Maybe this is the best we ever get, or maybe this is actually a good sign of things to come. I don't know, but it was something, and it was beautiful, and it was shit at the same time.
Oh man, I think playing to just not just how prominent a figure Superman is in the DC universe, but how others stay away from Kryptonians when they know they're on the planet. Steppenwolf makes his move because Supes isn't available, but just how he gets manhandled by Superman. I mean, bear in mind, and Superman just takes some time out, goes and saves a bunch of civilians, then comes back. Oh, by the way, this guy's still bothering you? Hold on a minute.
Yeah. Let me say something on this real quick too.
Yeah.
Because we've seen Superman in 3 different movies in this universe.
Yep.
You have Man of Steel, obviously, Batman v Superman, and Justice League. Now, help me out with this, and obviously anyone who wants to comment and help correct or just help me flesh this out. How does everyone know, one, that's, and by everyone I mean people in the universe, threats that want to invade Earth or whatever, how do they know, one, that Superman's on that planet, and 2, that because he's on that planet, he's so powerful? Because if I remember correctly from Man of Steel, they acknowledged the fact that because of the I'm just trying to think of the right term here. Basically, Superman's not naturally that powerful, not naturally that strong, but because he's on Earth,
right,
it'll change him so that he is. I mean, I guess for me, I'm just kind of wondering, how does everybody know this? Like, and I don't mean to poke holes into it, because I think it's cool that, hey, once the security guard's gone, basically everyone's going to try and get away with everything. Which is fine. I agree with that. I don't necessarily, I don't disagree with that theory. I think it's a good storytelling on their part. But how is this known?
Right.
Because all we've seen so far is we've he's there, and the very few Kryptonians that were still alive went there, and they didn't even know that was going to happen to them until they were actually exposed to the air in the environment. No,
there's some larger questions here. I mean, Steppenwolf clearly knows the Kryptonian race. That's the first thing he refers to. Superman.
And they're all dead.
Exactly.
Are they? Well, I mean, clearly they're not all dead. Which reminds me, I don't mean to interrupt, but what happened to all the other Kryptonians at the end of Man of Steel? Where did they go?
Oh, golly!
They had a reference to that in this movie. I think
there were a couple of. Man, it's been so long since I've seen it now. I thought they were off before Zod was, but
I don't. But I mean, I don't know. And again, I don't mean to be. No. At this point, I'm not trying to poke holes in this didn't make any sense. This is wrong. But I'm just kind of wondering more. kind of what's going on with this. Again, not because I didn't think it was a good plot point, because I think it was, but I don't really think that they built that up properly.
Yeah, and this is something, maybe I just haven't read enough DC comics that always kind of question me how well that's fleshed out. There's a part, again, going back to Supergirl, where Lex Luthor starts talking about different types of kryptonite. And he just starts going through all these different types he has, and he just got like a red one, and it's like Skittles at that point. And then he's got a black kryptonite. It's like, oh, how do you know about that?
I thought there was. I know there's green. Obviously, there's a regular one, and I know that isn't there a yellow kryptonite too?
Yep.
Which one makes them all angry?
Let's see.
Is that yellow, or is there another one that, or is, I don't know. I know there's one that makes them, obviously the regular one makes them super weak. And right. I think the yellow one obviously did something else, and I don't remember what it was, but I remember something really pissed off Kryptonians too.
I wanted to say the yellow was part of the irritant, but I know the black is what causes a complete physiological separation. Like for Supergirl, it separated her two selves. It basically pulled like her dark half out of her. It was really weird.
There's a black one too, huh?
Yep. And
so there's red, green, yellow, black.
And you see, it's stuff like that. I don't know how everyone A gets access to this stuff so freely. B, how do you know about that? So
especially because I mean, this kryptonite is it's Krypton,
right? Right.
Man, that must have been pretty funky living on that planet or something.
Yeah, it had to, man.
It's just weird. I mean, I don't think we're supposed to be giving it that much thought.
No.
It's just kind of like, well, you got me wondering about this now, though, because I like the plot point, but you haven't really built towards this.
Right.
But yeah.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
Hey, there's one thing about just how this whole thing is based, how it's being set up, the opening. And maybe it's just me. You talked a bit about Batman dealing with the solo burglar, drops his bag to try to deal with him, and then you find out he wasn't after the crook himself all along. He's trying to lure out one of the parademons.
Right.
Did that scene throw you off at all? Because for me, just the way it was based, I was kind of surprised that in the end of it, I know Batman was kind of using this guy as bait, but I'm surprised he didn't book him anyway and just leave him for the cops.
It all seemed a little too convenient, but It was okay. What did we see? What happened to that robber? I don't think we did.
No, I mean, literally, Batman sort of let him off. I mean, maybe we'll see more in the extended version, but he just basically starts wondering, like, what kind of world are we in now and whatnot. And Bats just leaves.
Well, he did have an alien insect he had to deal with, and he's not too used to that yet. So
I'll give him that.
Maybe he hasn't come up with contingencies on keeping the robber intact as well while he's dealing with the alien insect guys. Although I have to say, I'm still, even though I don't think he killed a single person, you gotta stop having Batman using guns. God damn it. And I get it, they're machine guns on the car or whatever,
right.
But he still had a rifle, and come on, there's other ways to use this guy.
Yeah, I think the fun part about Batman is when using his set of skills, it isn't like Wonder Woman or Kryptonian, etc., where you can just take your fist and just chunk something, through 4 stories. With Batman, a lot of his scenes are really fun, to be honest, because you're looking for that ingenious way he's going to deal with the situation.
Right, or, not just here's a gun.
Exactly, or how he's going to use his enemy's own strengths against them. I mean, Batman dealing with metahumans and the other challenges he's run up against. I mean, this is not something foreign to him. I mean, look, this guy has gone toe-to-toe with Darkseid, and he still came out on the better side of that bargain.
He hasn't here, though.
He didn't hear.
No,
right,
but his rogues gallery, in large part, we're to assume that they exist.
Exactly.
So he does have plenty of experience, but it's just, it's still bugging me, and it's, I get it. A lot of people complained about in Batman v Superman where they did have the shot in the trailer where you see Batman and Wonder Woman and Superman, and he is holding some kind of gun.
Right.
And I'm like, you know what? I'm sure there's a reason for that, and there was.
Right.
It was because he had the Krypton shells in there.
Yep.
Which that makes complete sense. But he's just using a gun now.
Right.
You see what he was using, some kind of laser rifle?
He took one of the Parademons' rifles and started using that for most of the end scene.
Yeah, no. And I mean, all the machine guns. He had the machine guns on the Nightcrawler thing, and he had the machine guns on the Batmobile,
and he had the freaking tank cannon on it too. Like, man,
which that's fine. I'm okay with that.
Yeah,
because that actually has there's other uses besides just trying to kill somebody with a shell.
Right.
You got to take down a wall or something. You can't take down a wall with a gun.
No.
So it's just like, come on. You're getting, this is what I'm talking about. They get so much of this right, and then they get so much of this wrong. But at least he didn't kill anybody this time.
You mean the butcher gallery that we had?
Yeah, freaking mass murder Batman in Batman v Superman. It's like, oh, it's such a great scene, but it's like, oh no, he slaughtered half those people at least. So not such a great scene, but it was like, it's so cool to see Batman doing Batman stuff. Did he just kill that guy?
Yeah. Yeah. I kept asking myself that too.
Did he just throw that grenade in the elevator?
Oh man.
Oops.
But no, here's definitely a full, I think coming about. If anything, at the height of his plan, as he's luring the legion of parademons after him. He even admits to himself, I probably didn't think this out all the way, but at least it's going to buy everybody else time to get what they need done. And still, everyone else sort of changes their plan on the fly so they can back up and support him.
I wasn't a big fan of the whole, well, I'm going to sacrifice myself.
Yeah, that, one thing about Bats is, he
doesn't sacrifice himself.
No, there's a contingency. Accidentally thinking himself into a corner is that's the only one I wouldn't play on him. So,
yeah.
But,
yeah, again, so much right, yet so much wrong.
Right. But, you get a lot of big moments here, if there's one thing DC does really well, and I'll say I think this is something they're just positioned to do even better than Marvel, is their classic shots of the Justice League in everyone lined up in full regalia, or you have your whole crew of heroes. DC just does this well. When I think of the JLA, I think of that good old classic opening from the animated series, where you have all members walking up in a line together. You get a lot of those group shots here. And again, those groups, that stuff, it's just fun. It plays in the whole theme of DC real well. DC does often the, over the top, super bold, big heroics, big screen time for all those kind of shots. And that works good. I enjoyed all those, no matter how corny they might come off. I thought it was just cool having that kind of interplay on screen.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
All right. Is there anything else? I think we ruined the shit out of it for anyone who hasn't watched this movie yet.
Pretty much, just about now. From what I saw, this did open pretty strong, about 110 million. I think opening day, night rather.
Oh no, you're kidding me.
No, here, go check it out. At least what I was checking into, it was a little under Thor. It didn't quite hit Thor still, but it's no joke.
That's usually from the whole weekend, though. This is opening day. We're not even done. There's still going to be hundreds of showings throughout the country.
Right.
Oh, I don't know about that. That's got to be an estimate. That can't be.
Yeah, not quite.
We'll see though.
Yeah, it's up. It's going to be up there. I think rather that's sorry about that. It's probably more the projected that they'd be looking for. This is roughly 300 million, I think, budget they worked with for this.
Yeah, I heard that for the budget. Yeah.
Yeah, so probably these 90 plus. It should have a solid opening weekend, opening night. So we'll see where it goes. But hey, one that's worth get on out to see. As far as our hero movies we got lined up, going into 2018, we're gonna have Black Panther, of course. Next month will be Star Wars. Sort of a big deal.
So much Star Wars going on right now. I'm playing Battlefront 2. We're gonna have a review out for that.
Yeah.
I'm watching Star Wars Rebels, all the news about the trilogy, the upcoming TV show. You got the movie. You hear, it's just like Star Wars all over the freaking place. I turn around, there's Star Wars, and it's not that it's bad, especially because this time of year. And that just takes me back to my childhood.
Right.
Because when I childhood of the '80s, it was Star Wars all the time, but then it was Christmas. I was like, oh, it's even more Star Wars because I'm going to get more Star Wars, as in I'll get more toys. One of these days, we'll have to talk on Jagged Edge. We'll have to talk about what the morning I came down, and my brother and I came down, and we had an AT-AT under the tree.
This I want to hear about sometime.
Oh my gosh, that was the thing. That was the thing. That was so great. But anyways,
Right.
and there were some Justice League figures in there somewhere too. I know we had those toys. Those were sprinkled around somewhere. Maybe that was his birthday or something. Maybe Easter. Maybe those were just Easter toys. But okay, yeah, that's it. We're rambling.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for us. Thanks again for tuning in. Of course, you can check out, if you haven't checked out the non-spoiler version already, or if you've already seen this movie, maybe there's no point in doing that for you.
Let us know what you think. Comment, email, all that stuff.
Please do. Please do. And again, stay tuned for more reviews coming up. And of course, our regular show as that comes out. Till then, take it easy. Thank you for listening. Hey people, thank you for tuning into this episode and taking a listen. If you like our content, if you like what you're listening to, there anything we go over, hey, please, we would not only love to hear more from you, but it's great if you could throw some support. You can subscribe right below. Also, you can toss us a line anytime. That's ksongmedia@gmail.com. Of course, you can tune in for our channel anytime for movie reviews, game reviews, a lot of random wacky stuff. Yeah, who knows what you'll hear. And of course, our episode each week where we're bringing the nerdiest things we can find, dig up, and maybe not find. Maybe the stuff that just drops in our laps. But anyway, hey, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for listening. We hope to hear from you again later. Take care.